In today's video, I'm going to show you how to unlock your mobility with a full body stretch routine. We're going to begin from the bottom up, but feel free to change the order in a way that suits you best. Also, if you find it best to spread these stretches out throughout the day because it suits your schedule a little bit better, that is fantastic as well. First thing we're going to do is take a lacrosse ball and massage out the bottom of your foot. You can do this standing up or sitting down. You can do it at the end of the day when you're watching TV. You can do it at work. If you work a desk job there, take your shoe off and just massage the bottom, the arch of your foot there. Everything begins with our feet. So you want to make sure the bottom of your feet are well taken care of. You can also use, I have this little gadget from Rumble Roller, a couple Beastie Balls on there. So same idea. They got more trigger points on there. You can massage both at the same time or one at a time there. So after that, again, you can do that any time of day. Then I'll get you down on the mat, on the floor. I just want you sitting on your toes. So your toes are curled in beneath your feet there, and you're sitting on your heels there, putting some pressure down on your toes. So really stretching out the bottom of your toes. If you haven't done this in a while, you'll be surprised at how tight our toes up, how locked up our toes are. After you do this stretch, come on up. Just do a little ankle mobility. So just kind of roll the ankles around, applying as much pressure as you want, gentle at first, and then work a little bit deeper pressure in there. So just loosening those ankles up. And then a calf stretch. So try to find, I got a little block up against here. And I'll start off, I'll do nice and a straight leg here. I may even kind of gently rock a little side to side, just feeling the stretch in different aspects of the calf, and may even bend the knee a little bit and drive that knee forward to get really deep into the calf there. That's going to get the soleus muscle underneath the gastrocnemius a little bit better. Might feel that deeper into the Achilles tendon there, down towards the heel there. So loosening up those calf muscles. Now we're going to move on to the quads and the psoas here. So psoas attaches thigh up in the ribs. Often a big problem area for a lot of people when it comes to low back pain, hip pain. So you're going to put a foot up on a couch, on a sofa, foot out in front of you, and you're lunging forward while dropping that knee down. I don't want you arching your back, but try to keep a nice straight back. If you want to have an arm up above your head and kind of tilt to the side a little bit, you want to feel that stretch right down here as well as in the quadriceps and the thighs here. So holding this, I like to hold this stretch if you can upwards of a minute here. It is fantastic, trying to get a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper and a little bit more forward, a little bit more forward there. So you repeat that each side. Then you get down into a sleeping hero stretch here, sleeping hero pose. So when I started, what you're going to do here, first of all, is knees are about mat width apart here, more than shoulder width apart if you're just on the floor. And you want to cradle so your toes are touching together and your heels are falling apart. So if you can't see that, it's going to look something like this. So basically, you want your butt sitting down in between your feet there. It's kind of, your feet are cradling your butt. So mat width apart, or a little bit more than shoulder width apart at first, toes together, heels opening up. And so like 7 months ago, before I started yoga, this was as far as I could go. Just getting back on my hands. At this point, then you'll crawl down to your elbows if you can get at that point. Ideally, you want to get down on the floor. If you can't quite get down on the floor, you can place a block underneath you, whether it's up lengthwise like so. Bring it up a little bit closer to your head here. So you want to be able to relax. You want to be in this position comfortably, stretching out. Then you get a little bit better. Then you can kind of flatten that block underneath you like that. And again, you want your knees, try to get your knees in a spot where your knees are down on the ground. So then ideally, no block under you at all. Get yourself into comfortable position here. So again, this is going to stretch out the quads. You're going to feel the psoas, the abdomen stretching out here. You can place, you get really good. You can reach your arms out ahead of you. Again, you should be pretty relaxed in this position. I hear a Chiefy dog. Hi, baby. I love you too. And then you want to get yourself up nice and safe. So you grab onto your shins here. Place your hand up above you. Thank you very much. And then after doing that stretch, it's good to kind of stretch out the lower back, loosen it up. So you're going to get into a child's pose here. So just sitting back onto your heels. You can have your knees out wide or in close together. Shoulders out in front of you, so it's going to kind of open up the shoulders as well. So you want to push back and feel free to kind of rock a little bit side to side to really loosen up that lower back. So now that we stretch out the quads, the calves, let's get on to the hamstrings. So next, what you're going to do, feet are about hip width apart here. I want you to bend your knees, reach down, loop up your big toes, get your nice flat back here, knees are bent. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to fold forward and then reach your butt up for the sky. I don't want you shrugging your shoulders down. I want you pulling your shoulder blades back. So elbows are bent, and try to get your weight evenly distributed. Like, don't allow it. Like for me, I had the weight on the outside of my feet. Try to keep that weight, that pressure evenly distributed on the bottom of your feet. So breathing. With each exhale, you try to fold a little bit more. Drive your hips up a little bit more. See if you can stretch out the hamstrings there. It's great for the lower back. Great for the hamstrings. You can see my hamstrings are really tight. I try not to rock too far back. Try to keep that weight, again, even on the bottom of the feet. Try to reach those hips. So now we got the hamstrings warmed up there, loosened up a bit, and into a forward fold. We're going to do more of a wide-legged fold here. So get your feet out as wide as you comfortably can. Straight back, bend forward at the hips, at the waist. You can place our hands down on the ground. Try to keep those toes pointed forward. Mine want to go out. I'm very tight. You can reach for opposite ankles here. And again, try not to have the weight down on the heels. Try to keep it evenly distributed upon your feet. Bend forward. If you want, you can loop up your hands behind your back and start getting a little bit of shoulder mobility in at the same time here. So this is great for not only the hamstrings, but the inner thighs as well, and shoulders. When you're doing this, carefully bring yourself up, placing your hands underneath you, bring your feet close together. We're going to continue with the inner thighs now. So you're going to have your lead leg pointing forward and this one out to the side here, and you're going to lunge forward. Get yourself down into a lunge. So you've got your leg at a 45-degree angle. The knee is above the ankle there. And I want your weight, try to keep your torso upright right now. So my hips, it's here that I'm pushing down. So I'm feeling a stretch in the inner thighs going down here. Also feeling a stretch across here. And you can just hold this position, or you can turn it into a humble warrior and get a little bit more shoulder mobility here. So where you're bowing forward, maintaining your weight in that evenly distributed position. So I've got equal weight in both feet. So I'm feeling the inner thighs of both legs engaged, and I am getting a nice little shoulder stretch. You would come up, repeat that for the other side. Next is going to be, you're going to come down into a side lunge. So let's start both feet facing forward. You're going to come down and get as low as you can. So that toe is pointing up, this foot out to the side. Lean forward a bit and down. And again, feeling that stretch in the groin, in the hamstrings here. Trying to drop yourself down as low as you possibly. If you need your hands on the ground, that's great. And together. Again, coming up. We have one more stretch for the inner thighs here. All these stretches are great for the lower back as well. A lot of these muscles lead to tightness in the lower back, limiting our range of motion in our lower back. So get your knees out as wide as you can, keeping the hips so right in alignment with the knees. I'm going to drop down if you can to your forearms. And I'm going to just relax my head into my hands. And if you can, you just try to slide your feet out a little bit more. Let the knees go out a little bit more. With all these stretches, you want to melt into that pose. So this is where the breathing is important. Learning to relax your body. Don't stay tense. Don't fight the stretch. Melt into the pose. Sink into the stretch. So focus on your breathing, and with each
out breath with each exhale. You try to just get a little bit deeper. Don't force it. Just you get deeper by relaxing, by softening your body.
So after working the inner thighs, now it's time to shift more towards the outer thighs. And we're going to move into a pigeon pose. So with the pigeon pose, I'm just going to change this angle here a little bit. What you're going to do is bring your one knee up towards your hand. And ideally, you want your foot up at like a 90-degree angle, so the more flexible you are, you're going to be able to bring it right up there. I like to both hands on the ground. My hips are not that flexible. And then I'm just trying to reach myself back a little bit. Ideally, you want that butt getting down to touch the ground. I'm actually getting pretty darn close. So 7 months of yoga is definitely paying off. And then from here, you can just crawl down to your forearms
and then get down to the point where your head is touching the mat. Once again, focusing on your breath, relaxing into that stretch. If you got time, like you're splitting these stretches up throughout the day, you can sink here like 2, 3, 4 minutes and just kind of lose yourself in the stretch. Just focus on your breathing. Just each breath trying to soften a little more, sink into that stretch a little bit more.
Another stretch, so after you do both sides of those, now we're going to stretch, we're going to work out the lower back area. So you're going to place one foot out in front of you, the other foot is in close. You can reach for the toes there, or just keep that arm on the inside of your leg. You want to be on both butt cheeks, so try to keep both your weight. You don't want to be like totally shifted over like that, so both butt cheeks down. You're going to reach this arm up above your head, and you're going to reach kind of back behind you. So it's not just reaching down. You want to kind of like open up as well as you're reaching down. Now I like to grab onto my foot, so I'm getting a little hamstring stretch at the same time. So feeling it along like just the ribs here, just below the ribs, down into the lower back. Like when you open up and you bend yourself down a bit more, oh, it just feels so good. You realize how tight that area is. And it just really opens things up. So as you're stretching, focusing on your breath, like breathing energy into that spot down there, it just feels absolutely freaking incredible. So once again, you're gonna do both sides there. And then we're gonna get down. So again, lower back there, do those stretches. Let's just kind of bring the knees to the chest. You can kind of do a little rocking side to side. I really like to do a happy baby here. So again, it's gonna stretch out so you just grab the inside of your feet, stretches out the groin a bit, get those shoulders back. Great for the lower back. Bring those feet in. Again, this is kind of like a cobbler's pose. If you want, you're going to rock, grab your hamstrings, rock up. You can continue with that cobbler's pose to, again, loosen up that groin and the lower back area. Chin forward, leaning forward a bit. And we're going to keep loosening up the back with some cat-cow. So first, we're going to get into the cow. So hips over the knees, hands under the shoulders. We're going to look up, drop the belly down, and stick that butt up as well. So cow as you breathe in, and then cat as you breathe out.
You're opening up the shoulder blades, so really opening everything apart, looking towards your belly button, really scooping that belly button up towards the ceiling there.
And you can do a few rounds of this. We're going to up in cow, breathe out.
And cat, opening up the shoulders, opening it back.
Breathe in, cow.
Breathe out for cat.
Now we're going to move into the doorway, get some shoulder stretching, more back stretching. All right, so in the doorway here, we'll start with the back. So you can grab onto a pole or a doorway. And I'm just kind of sitting back to that and really feeling it stretch across the lats, even the lower back as I'm sitting down here. You can place your elbow on the inside of your knee there and rotate around. Just try all different things. There's no right or wrong with this. You're just trying to create a sensation and loosen up those back muscles. You can get into the rear delts, the back of your shoulders, by again pulling away and bringing your body forward, so you're gonna feel more of a stretch in the back there. And now the front of the shoulders and the chest, just leaning into, arms at a upper arm parallel to the floor, arms at a 90-degree angle, just reaching forward. And you can stretch out the front of the chest. This is great for the biceps, I find, and the front of the shoulder. I kind of rotate my shoulder down and inward. So really feeling that stretch in here, opening things up. Find a lot of shoulder issues for a lot of people is actually the biceps. This is great for the biceps as well as the front of the shoulders there. That's reminding me, I forgot a stretch down on the mat. We'll get to that in a moment. All right, so I forgot about our wrist. So you're gonna come forward, your knees are below your hips, hands are under your shoulders, and you're going to flip your hands. So now your fingers are pointing in towards your knees here, and you can just rock around, just keeping the full pressure on the palms of my hands, leaning back a bit, maybe a little side to side, so you're feeling a stretch the inside of your forearms here. Fantastic stretch for forearm flexibility, wrist flexibility, mobility. And then I'm going to place both hands forward. And what I'm going to do now is turn the bottom of my hand, the top of my hand, down on the ground. So nice and gentle at first. And again, you can kind of just rock around, just move around, get a little bit mobility there. And switch hands, place that hand firmly on the ground, and then just gently apply pressure on this wrist as you're moving around. And now finishing off with the neck. So what I like to do is place one hand under my shin here, grab onto my neck, tilt it to the side, nice and relaxed breast, nice straight posture. And then you can kind of look down as you're pulling on your head a little bit, feel a little different stretching sensation. And rotate your head where you're looking up, different kind of sensation. Rotate down, rotate up. And you do the same to the other side, so whatever side you're stretching, that hand is going to be under your shin. And finishing off with the rabbit stretch here, rabbit pose. So you're going to sit on your heels, you're going to grab on to your heels, bend your back, round your back so your forehead is in contact with your knees. And then you're just going to try to raise your hips up. You're going to feel that stretch in the neck and the upper back, upper shoulders. Just driving the hips up and back. Be careful, be gentle with the pressure here with your neck. And you come out the same way you went in, just letting your butt sink down to your heels and come on up. And the last thing I like to do to really finish things off is some dead hang. So just hang from a pull-up bar here. I just find this just opens up everything. It opens up the shoulders, relaxes the spine. Any kind of pressure, tension on the spine is done. The hips all opens up. So I just relax, let everything just sink down as I'm holding my body up off the ground there. So I'm not trying to hold myself up. I'm just sinking right down. My feet are off the floor here. And I'll just hold this for as long as I can. And that's your full body stretch routine to unlock your mobility. I hope you found value in today's video. If you did, please do me a favor and smash that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. If you know fellow bro who would benefit from watching today's video, please do me a favor and share it with them. But more than anything, I'd love to hear from you down in the comment section below. Share your thoughts, share your insights, share your feedback, share how you're going to incorporate these stretches into your daily routine and how they impact you. Before you go, don't forget to download your free guide, Lose Fat, Get Jacked. Have yourself an amazing day. Catch you in the next video.